Welcome back to Season 5 of the FVC for Round 4, sorry, at Portuguese Grand Prix. Qualifying getting underway, 18 minutes for the drivers, lap record currently held at a 1:18.259 set by last season's race winner, Scarlett 42. Only held one race in the past, second time out for all the drivers. Going to be interesting because we're all unexperienced on this track.
Yeah, and I mean, that shows you how fast this track is. That is a short lap time, 1:18.2. And I mean, this isn't a short track, it's just this track is fast.
Yep.
Something you got to take into account here.
First couple of cars coming out, on board now, OJ English, last week's race winner. We also see the other Williams of Sam Baker, 4067, going out. Williams always first onto track, it seems. Not had the best of luck during the first two legs, but are leading the Constructors' Championship out for an abysmal showing in the Asian leg. Also coming out, AlphaTauri of Curly7. Also shown to be a pretty decent driver, has yet to get up to the podium, I think. See the DRS flap wide open coming down for the first of two zones, the second one going down the start-finish straight, giving you monumental speed going into the first corner. A huge amount of cars coming out now, Adoro Tay, GL Broughton, M Rose, as well as the Mercedes of D765 as well.
Indeed, and that second DRS zone is very interesting because that starts in the middle of turn 15.
Indeed. Well, you get the detection zone around turn 15. Whoops, that's the wrong button. Detection zone around the middle of turn 15. Not until you get up the hill, though, does it actually allow you to open the rear wing, but it's still a huge straight even before then. The slipstream going to be taking a massive effect for any car behind another.
Oh, we saw this here in real life, where cars would get massive toes down the front straightaway.
Indeed. Predictions for
Only
pole.
two cars still pit lane.
Yep, two cars, Scarlett 42 and Eldorado 2009. Scarlett being our last year's pole sitter. First car is coming out to the lap is going to be the Williams duo jumping on board now. Approaching loose yellow in sector 2. I've not brought up the map, let me quickly get that. Not sure who that could be. Sector 2, probably one of the Ferraris by the looks of the blips.
Riding on board here with this Williams really makes you realize how much elevation changes at this track.
It can be hard to see off-board around any track. The only exception I could think would be Spa with Eau Rouge and Radeon, but around here it's really deceptive until you get on board or even in the car itself. It is always up and down and it is always flowing. It's still very quick as well.
It's almost like riding on a roller coaster, this track.
Indeed it is, and I'm pretty sure most of the drivers in real life also saying pretty much the same thing about this track. Big roller coaster ride coming through sector 3 now. Williams in front has spun of Simon Baker. That's going to not impede his teammate, thankfully being off the road. Just shows how little grip there can be around some of these corners. Turn 15 as well, we might see some of the same issues we had around Spain turn 3. Drivers constantly dropping it on their fast laps. Huge downhill as well, could cause the car just get unloaded a little bit. Williams again of Simon Baker spinning in sector 3. Coming around first lap now, OJ English, it's a 1:18.477, 2 tenths off last season's lap record. Already setting the bar quite high. Up next going to be the Mercedes of D765, 1:18.540, does not go fast. Up now, new lap record, 1:17.765 for the Alfa Romeo of Blyapper. M Rose with the 1:18.517.
New lap record!
Curly7 also going a 1:18.570. Up next is going to be one of the Alpines, Adoro Tay, 1:18.018. Last week's race winner unfortunately lost it due to penalties. From the Ferraris, GL Broughton 1:18.830 and Essex Impulse with a 1:18.505. A very fast batch for the first couple of drivers. Up next is going to be Demi, 1:17.888 as Adoro Tay spins into turn 1.
Looks like able to get out of the way and no one else involved.
Thankfully. Up next across the line as I find them. FB Pixels coming up the hill now. Down the first straight. 50th race, 50th qualifying at 1:21.177. Brady Pollock as well. Looking to be a very fast driver. Only a 1:19.648. Won the pre-season race. Came second on debut out in China. There's our first batch done. Only 3 cars left to set a lap time. As you've seen, one of them had spun out. And I'm pretty sure another one's coming up now with Eldorado.
Yeah, just 2 more left to go. I believe Salmon already pit because they spun a couple times. So it's just Scarlett and Dorado.
Indeed it will be. Sector 3 yellow, one of the Alfa Romeos going very slow off to the right, most likely spun if I had to take a guess. Over the line, Eldorado 1:19.246. Dorado not looking to be that quick after the preseason, however, did win. Actually, I was mistaken. As Brady Pollock came down the field, actually, in the preseason race, it was El Dorado that won that. My mistake. Dorado did seem to be very quick earlier on, does need to get a bit higher up if he wants to improve. Scarlett over the line, sets a 1:19.458. That leaves one car left, that would be Sam Baker, who's dropped it. Hopefully coming out soon on the new set of tyres.
And I mean, these drivers have already brought their A game. I mean, last season, the record was set at 118.2. We've already seen 3 cars on their first go-around beat that. And 2 of them have gone into the 17s.
Indeed. To be very, very quick. Demi as well was in contention to win the Singapore Grand Prix until one of the safety car restarts had a spin around the last corner, I'm pretty sure it was. Unfortunate circumstance, they're going to be hoping for a better race this time round.
Off to a great start in qualifying here.
Indeed, but the race is where everything's made up.
Mm-hmm.
No matter how good in qualifying you get, it's always the race and those huge amounts of laps that you've got to keep it consistent for.
Consistency is key in any motorsport, especially F1.
Very much so. Pretty sure we're going to be seeing most of our drivers come into the pits now for getting ready for their second runs. About 12 or so minutes left, I'm pretty sure. Sector 3 yellows for the Ferrari going quite slowly getting back to the pits. Simon Baker now coming out for an out lap, 11 minutes and 20 seconds. I went the wrong way because I don't know the controls for this game. Also coming out, Adoro Tay and OJ English. Don't doubt another bunch of cars, but the Mercedes are also out. Alfa Romeo flagging up yellows in Sector 1.
Looks like they've kept going for now.
Kept going it, probably just getting a bit slow from one of the Haas's. But the only Haas actually going to be here. Williams don't seem to be helping each other as much as they were in Spain. Completely opposite ends of the tracks currently. They were giving each other a tow during qualifying last time out. Well, the Ferrari's going very slow in turn 1 and 2.
And I mean, we saw it here already. They're already on opposite sides of the track, and earlier one spun in front of the other. They're set their lap time.
Yep. Not going as well, but they're still looking in a decent position for contention with constructors. Sector 1 and 2 yellows for the Ferrari going slow again. One of the AlphaTauris spun it round at the looks of the blip. Going on board for Sam Baker. On, hopefully this time getting completed for a fastest lap. Makes a nice apex around the turn 5 is that, I'm pretty sure. No, turn 6, sorry.
Yes. That was turn 5.
It was 5, never mind. It's a very small image I'm looking at, and it's not full screened on my other side, so I will be fixing that as we transition from qualifying to the race.
Imagine actually having another monitor.
It is a very nice thing to have, especially when you need to
I know,
constantly check
I've heard.
stuff. One of the Alpines going quite slow in Sector 2, not sure which one that is. Looks to be keeping out of the way and getting it back to speed now. Coming around final corner, Simon Baker, kept it steady all the way around, looked to be a decent lap. Little bit of sliding coming out of the final corner though. DRS sets a 118.407 up into 5th. There's also another car into the 117s of OJ English with a 117.932. So I hit the wrong button yet again. Moving over, Dorote, 118.018. Next driver most likely to break the 117s. We've seen how quick a Doro can be, but needs to be a bit cleaner during the races. Over the line doesn't improve the lap stays, a 118.018. M Rose, by the looks of it, also improved up to a 118.075. He dives into the pits, not going to see anything. Curly 7 sets a purple sector 1 as we move over to him. 118.570 sets him into 9th position. Still a decent little way to go. Sector 3 yellows. One of the Williams has looked like to spawn trying to get into the pits. I think that's a retirement. LG English and Blyaf go out of the session, crashing into each other, heading into pit lane.
And that's two of the fastest cars that were on track today.
Indeed it is. I'm trying to find. Yep, here comes Sam Baker. Pit lane completely blocked.
Wow. Yeah, there's pieces of car on the track too.
Very much so. That's very unfortunate for anyone looking to come into pit lane. Moving back up to Curly, that's set an entire yellow. That might hinder the lap a little bit, causing him to slow down. Doesn't seem to. Curly goes, sets a 118.206, moving up to 7th place. Cars at the start of pit lane seem to be cleared up now. Thank you for that image, by the way. I see it. That's much nicer to look at.
Well, it's also got the corner names. So
It does indeed, although we're just going to be using turn
because I
names,
knew
most likely.
turn 5. Yeah, I knew turn 5 had a unique name, but I could not remember what it was.
Well, provisional pole and 3rd place going out of qualifying. 117.765 and 117.932 respectively for both of them. They're looking to be pretty set well, but that's going to cause problems most likely as a rivalry starts between those two drivers.
Interesting to see how that plays out.
It will be indeed. Doesn't seem like they're going at each other yet in the Season 5 chats, however, might be something coming up later in the race. We know how some things in this league can go, unfortunately.
You say unfortunate, I call it excitement.
Well, depends on how you look at it. For the stewards, it's not fun. Anyway, Treeboy 53.
Ah, see, I don't have to be a steward, so.
It's true. Treeboy 53, 118.005 in a Ferrari. One of the most experienced drivers here in the FVC. Coming in Season 3, I believe has driven in every main series since then. Season 3, 4, and 5 in some capacity. The Aston Martin team, not looking good. FE Pixels 53, it's 119.046, and Scarlett, one of the championship favourites and previous race winner, 119.458. Over a second off the lap record set last season, as well as quite far off pole position. Speaking
I gotta
of Aston
imagine they're
Martin,
gonna want to pick it up on this last run here.
Pixels spins it in the middle of sector 2. 5 minutes and 10 seconds left. Pixels running quite wide, getting a nice cut in though. What you want to do around these corners, some of them, but you need to be careful not to lose the grip.
Able to keep it going for now. Ooh, misses the apex a little bit, slides front tires a little.
Number cars
Going
coming
to
out,
rumble.
ready for 3rd run. You need to be careful on that inside rumble strip so that you don't drop it, dives into pit lane.
Yeah, that turn 15 can be quite challenging.
It definitely is. If you've not got the right aero balance around there, you're just going to be losing time constantly. It is a fast track, but it's a high-speed corner. You need the downforce for it.
Oh, it's a great check of if you have too much front downforce or too much rear downforce, because you're either going to understeer or oversteer.
Very much so. Another driver into the 117s with D765, a 117.996. That's our 4th car into the 117s. Next up to cross the line.
What were you guys doing around here last year?
I don't know. These cars must be faster, I guess. Up next across the line, Adoro Tay. 118 to beat, doesn't improve, stays at 118.018. Up after is Brady Polk in the Haas. A 118.7 to beat. Brady's been a very quick driver both pre-season and in the first round. Haven't seen anything of him since then. Over the line, doesn't go any faster again, unless this is his start onto a flying lap now. Just looking at how aggressive he's going, it probably is.
A little wide there, but not enough to dip all 4 tires off.
A little bit of a twitch coming up over the corner. That's going to be very scary if you do that in a pack of cars.
Now imagine it's scary alone. I cannot imagine what it's going to be like with 20 other cars around you.
Yep, 14 other cars around you lap 1. That's going to be very scary indeed if you have another twitch. You need to be careful as well. Somebody comes up behind you, hits you as you're saving it. That could cause a big chain reaction. There's a wide cuts in nicely for the apex. Purple middle sector for the Haas, looking to be good lap. Just need to keep it stable for the last sector coming round. Adorote goes up finally with a 1:17.770 up to second place. That sets Alpine into a 2-3.
You see what Brady does right here at the end here, because this has been quite a good lap so far.
Very much Haas, keeps it very close to
Keeping
the
it tucked
inside.
in.
Almost like he's going to pit lane there. Moves up, sets
Yeah.
pole position,
Woo!
1:17.449. That's extremely
Wow.
fast for the Haas driver.
That's an incredible lap. That is also a new lap record.
Indeed it is. Will it be able to be set in the race though? That's one thing we need to be
That's a
keeping
real
an eye
question.
on. Lap records in qualifying. Almost an accident there between the Alpine and the Haas. Very close to the rear. That would be a Dorote again. Lap records though, as impressive as they are in qualifying, they don't just have the same flair as a Doro. I don't know what the hell he's doing. Taking a slightly different line. Let's hope that doesn't happen in the race. That's going to be causing a number of illegal overtakes if so. Looking to get a number of drivers into the 117s now. 7 cars out of the 15 seem to have gotten up into the next second barrier. Alpine of Demi seem to get very loose over the top of the crest. Onto the grass, nearly dropping it again. Gonna have to clean that up a bit if you want to set a fast qualifying lap. Seems to get no assistance from their teammate either.
No, I mean, racing is one of the only sports in the world where you are actually competing against your teammate.
Indeed, but the overarching championship of the constructors, you need to work together while in that battle. Sometimes you
Something
just
hard
need
to manage.
Sometimes you just need to keep it steady. Do you want to fight your teammate? Do you want to help them to beat other teams? Something very, very hard to do. 20 seconds left qualifying, as well as the remainder of anyone that gets over the line.
I honestly do not think we're going to see. Oh, good.
Ferraris are not going to make it over the line by the looks of it.
Honestly, I don't think anyone's going to beat Brady's time. That is a lightning quick lap.
And the Dorote is now retired as well in Sector 1. No car really close to see, just in the wall out of Turn 2, by the looks of it. Qualifying over, 2.5 minutes left. One of the Ferraris has spun it going into pit lane by the looks of it. Nobody close though to absolutely clatter him. While Demi completes this lap, we're going to jump over to the Aston Martins. Scarlet leads. 1:19.458 needs a lot of work to get that better lap. Going to be our final shot coming up over the crest. Over the line is going to set a 1:17.582, moving up to second place. Up next is Pixel, stays a 1:18.988, stays in 15th, my apologies. Up next is Demi, let me quickly jump over to them. Keeping to that right side, into third, a 1:17.701.
Wow. Well, I was saying Scarlet might want to improve it, and they did. Wow.
Indeed so. Up next, AlphaTauri of Curly7 up over the line from a 1:18.2 to a 1:18.1. Final car to be coming over the line is going to be the Ferrari of Treeboy. Looks to be going a bit slow, so probably has aborted that lap. Definitely has. That's nowhere near anywhere the pace that you need to be going to set a new fastest lap. Going to be staying 6th with 1:17.836. But I think we have a new pole sitter for the 4th time this season, if I'm not mistaken. I will need to go and check that. On the wrong document. See, season 5. I'm incorrect. Brady set the pole lap at China. Having a look down our grid, Brady Pollock takes pole for the second time this season with a 1:17.449. Scarlett E42 in second place with a 1:17.582. Very close between our new debut this season and our previous pole sitter. In third, Demi, a 1:17.701, and Glyapa in fourth, 1:17.765. Final 1:17s continue all the way down to ninth. Adorote, Treeboy, OJ English, Mr. Emrose, and D765 all setting the 1:17 laps. Not quite able to break the barrier, Curly 7 with a 1:18.126, JL Broughton in the Ferrari, our FVC2 champion, 1:18.231, and 1,000th behind Estrogen Impulse in 12th position. 13th goes to Simon Baker, 14th Eldorado, and 15th for FV Pixels in his 50th, or no, in his 100th, race in FVEC. Welcome back to Season 5 of the FVC, Round 4 here at the Portuguese Grand Prix. We're just back from qualifying, we're heading up for a 33-lap race at the Algarve circuit. Brady Pollock 037 takes pole for the second time this season with a absolutely flying 1:17 lap, much beating last season. Simon Baker has already disconnected, but moving into second. Last season's pole and race winner, Scarlett 42 takes up second. Demi in third position will be a very fast driver. It was leading the Singapore Grand Prix and was a favourite to win until their unfortunate accident. Glyapa 51.69 takes fourth position for the Alfa Romeo team. Adorote in fifth for Alpine sets Alpine to be the favourites to score a huge amount of points this week. Treeboy 53, sixth position in the Ferrari with OJ English in seventh. Mr. M. Rose takes up 8th position and D765YT 123 in 9th. Curly 10 in 10th position, one of the Ferraris in the background of JL Broughton, I'm pretty sure we see spinning out. Broughton, very fast driver, but needs to get a bit cleaner to be competing that well this season. Estrogen Impulse, 1,000th behind the Ferrari, takes up 12th position, and Simon Baker, our podium sitter and very unlikely one at so, after the first two rounds. Eldorado 2009, very fast driver, again down in a shock 14th position, and our 100th, our first driver to break 100 race starts today, FV Pixels for the Aston Martin team. Not the greatest qualifying, but a milestone in the FVC nonetheless. Moving up to the front, what do you think of our race today? Very short grid, some fast qualifiers up at the back and some slower ones up further in the grid. Tree 53 getting a disqualification, not sure who he hit. What do you think of the grid today, Carl? How do you think the race is going to come out?
I think this is going to be an interesting race. I think we might see a little bit of an upset here. It's already been a weird top 5. I mean, everyone's so fast here already in these cars. And, well, it'll be interesting to watch and see as they get ready to go onto the grid spots here.
Indeed it will be. We see the lone Ferrari already there on the grid after a disqualification. Simon Baker thankfully getting back in before the start. You know, hopefully launching out Williams from 13th a lot better. Cars getting lined up, the Haas getting very sideways as it approaches its grid box. Number of cars getting disqualified for not sure what happened. That's a huge shock there. We see our predicted pit stops coming up. Predicted pit stops, though, have been very much off the mark for this season. If Alpine about 5 today, cars. Yep, there's another one of FV Pixels, but as I've just been notified, Alpine win today is going to be their first win in the FVC. Cars lined up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights on. Lights out and away we go. Demi gets a jump start penalty for drive-through. Not sure what happened there. A number of cars are going to jump out of the line. Demi with a huge start obviously from that jump. Doesn't make it into the 3 went to turn 1. Alpine's going all the way around the outside. Alfa Romeo coming out together and here back. Demi all the way up into second. Somehow they've all kept the Ferraris around. One of the Ferraris, that's Treeboy. From 6th down into 15th.
And he is way back.
Way back indeed. 2, 3, they're
almost 4
wide in the back. Turn 5. Cars going absolutely everywhere off the circuit. Off of the front it seems to have stabilised a bit. Simon Baker's disconnected again. Let's jump backwards to the main battles.
Brady has dropped to 5th after starting on pole position here. Scarlett is in first now.
Scarlett indeed is in first with a massive already 2-second gap.
Wow.
I didn't even notice that. It's a huge margin.
They have simply just taken off.
Indeed she has. Adorote moved up to second from quite far down the grid. Demi's in fourth position from second. Also has that drive-through though. Not going to be a good race for them. Must have just been the ever so slight amount of movement on the grid that triggered it, as they seem to have stopped. Scarlett's now 1:23.479 for the first fastest lap. Car's coming down pit straight now. Already one into pit lane of Impulse. Looks like we're going to have the Mercedes going down the inside at turn 1. The Alfa Romeo, they hit this Mercedes win
contact! Oh, able to keep it away from the other cars.
That's risky in front of the Ferrari. Very close contact.
That was a very bold move going into turn 1 on lap 2. So
very bold, very risky, and it did not pay off for the Mercedes.
Yeah, I can't say I'd done the same thing, but I understand being aggressive. It's just
Curly, 3-second penalty for already multiple warnings, most likely going to be track limits around here. Seen the AlphaTauri going off quite a number of times on the first lap. Things seem to be stabilising up at the front, cars getting a bit gapped out now. Top 5 already run out, but a huge battle for the Alfa Romeo's go down the inside again. Broughton up into 6th position on the Alfa Romeo.
Oh,
Alfa's going to get it down the inside, round the next corner, in the middle, they're going to be side by side. Alfa's staying ahead. Ferrari looking all the way around the outside now. Could be for the better line for turns 14 and 15. Doesn't quite get it moved.
500 blanket here.
Now. Alfa Romeo getting shuffled back. Scarlett, another fast lap, 1:29. Adoro with the 1:25. Adoro seems to be gaining on Scarlett. 5 cars with the big group. DRS now enabled, jumping on board with the Alfa Romeo in the slipstream of the AlphaTauri of Curly, moving to the left side, looking for moving the outside. Not going to happen, not enough space there. Middle of a huge group as we see one of the Williams going round. Half spins from the Mercedes. Mercedes getting caught up. That's another blow for the Mercedes team.
Already off to a horrible start for this Mercedes team.
Indeed, Blyap has looked down to the inside of the AlphaTauri, makes it work. Doesn't have the off-corner grip though. Fucking game. There we go. Apologies for the technical difficulties, everybody. Things stabilising just a little bit up here. Another 5-car train for 9th position. Surprisingly, it looks like that Mercedes doesn't even have any wing damage.
That is surprising.
After having one of the Williams half spin in front of him. Surprised it's not going to have any damage. How's a look round for the outside, doesn't make it work. Going to be tucking in right behind that Williams. Just got to keep it steady, keep it behind for the DRS detection zone, get that huge amount of speed down the main straight. Jump on board now, already better run down the corner of the slipstream.
Wow!
Huge, but here comes DRS now, DRS wide open. Down to the inside, not gaining quite as much as he'd like to, but going to be an easy move down the inside into turn 1. Jumps over the curb though, Williams goes right round the outside.
That could have been comfortable.
That will definitely be uncomfortable. We've seen in real life the Mercedes of Hamilton getting a broken engine from something similar at Spa. Something that big could hurt these cars definitely, but it's different in game than it is in real life. We have 6 cars now in this fight.
Could get messy.
Very much could, but they need to get just that little bit closer to fight for position. One of them spun round, that's the Ferrari of Tree Boy out at the back of the group.
Again!
Not sure what happened there, I just seen the car sideways and dropping off the back. Very unfortunate, but now Williams of OJ English just seems to be getting a little bit ahead of the rest of this group. Behind, I think Simon Baker might be catching the Mercedes just that little bit every lap. One of the Alfa Romeos has dropped it around the corner. Slow moving.
Able to keep it moving and get back up to speed.
Yep, back up to speed. We'll have DRS in this group, so stays in the contention. Unfortunate showing, but keep going. Still a huge amount of laps left to go.
I mean, we're already only 5 laps into this. We've already seen a lot of action here.
A lot of things have definitely happened already. Just seem to be getting a little bit calmer though. This group of cars, the closest on battle, and also the Ferrari and AlphaTauri 5th and 6th, GL Broughton and Curly 7, a bit close together. Bit twitchy from the Alfa Romeo, that's going to let the Williams get alongside, going to be ahead going into the next corner. Mercedes also down the inside as well, with the Alfa Romeo running wide. Mercedes now to the outside.
Ooh, look close there.
Enough space given. D75 moves ahead into 10th position.
Oh, that's not going to help them get it back up there.
Definitely not. Had a good start to the race, doesn't seem to be having a good anything really past lap 5 now. Just dropped.
Also looks like Brady's moved back up to 3rd.
Brady
still
has got up to 3rd position. Seems to be chasing down a Doro as well. We go up to the Mercedes, having a look around the outside around turn 1. Actually makes it stick, I think. Might be just
they are there.
Be side by side though. Around turn 3. Moving up to turn 4. This is not a place where you're going to be side by side with another car. Mercedes gets ahead. Also the Alfa Romeo as well. Yellow in sector 1 for one of the Alpines. That's going to be Demi, I'm pretty sure, having a spin round.
Whoa!
Pixel's having a look around the outside of Simon Baker. Doesn't have enough grip to make it stick though. But does have enough to get down in speed. Going around the outside, keeps it well. Simon moving back up the inside. Not a points-paying position, but still a very valiant fight nonetheless between these two.
Yeah, you can have good fights in anywhere on the track.
Well, with the ruling of countback, any position can help you in a championship hunt. Getting a little gapped out now. One of the Alphas at turn 1 has spun it around. That'll be M. Rose from the podium position, I think they were running. Or very close to, down into 6th position. Gonna have one of the Williams right on the back of them now.
Gotta wonder what that did to their tires as well.
Whatever it did, it's not going to be good anyway. Williams just looming behind that Alfa Romeo.
Hunting, lurking, looking for an opening. Or a mistake.
Looking for anything. Both of these drivers very quick. Indeed. The quickness is not what gets you everything. You need that consistency. 4 cars behind. The 2 Mercedes, an Alfa Romeo and another Williams as well are going to be battling it out. Still watching that battle as well on the blips on the map. But Curly might be going for it now against the Ferrari. We jump away over to here. DRS going to be wide open. Doesn't seem to be gaining anything on the Ferrari until too late. Brady goes into the pits.
Still a nice setup for possibly this next DRS zone to get down inside of 1 turn 5.
Would be if he didn't make such a mistake there. Getting very deep in the brakes. Curse of the commentator coming to effect massively there.
My apologies.
Well, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
However, with these two battling, it could allow the 2 behind them to catch up. Brady Pollock comes out of the pits into 13th position, quite a ways far down. However, hopefully with the cycles he'll get cleanly back up past everybody, but a good bit of overtaking never hurts viewership anyway. We always wish for a good, clean, hard race, but unfortunately sometimes things don't go our way. But this is the longest we've managed in any of the races so far without a single car getting damaged, I think. Well, some probably got damaged, but without a single car going out for sure.
Yeah, they've kept it pretty clean. Just a couple little spins here and there.
A couple of spins, half spins, sometimes impeding questionable rejoins, but nobody's actually went out yet.
which is good to see. Keeps it
It
competitive.
is, as we
Keeps
say
everybody
that,
inside.
half spin again.
Oh,
Curly runs into the back of the Ferrari of Broughton. No wing
don't see
damage
any
there.
wing damage. That's
However,
lucky.
it depends if there's any diffuser or rear wing damage to the Ferrari, which isn't as easy to see. That's 2 times within, what, 1.5 laps we've had Curse of the Commentator kick in.
Maybe I should not mention anyone being successful.
Maybe we shouldn't. Reading reports that apparently Scarlett is a lap down on fuel. Scarlett currently leading with a 2.5 second gap to Adoro. Gonna have to kick in some fuel saving measures.
Well, luckily, they are quite far out in front, so they could start to save pretty hard here and still stay in first.
Depends though, Adoro is very quick and also questionable in terms of how clean and how his on-track conduct is, that we've seen from Spain. Scarlett needs to be careful if she does get caught up by Adoro. Adoro will be going much harder as well, considering a home race room. This group seems to have jumped out a bit from each other, however, looking at it, these 4 here are still relatively all close together.
Coming a little closer, coming down into turn 1 here, this little downhill to a fast right. Whoa! Mercedes lost into the gravel!
Into the gravel. I didn't. I was looking away again. One of the Ferraris as well dropped to going up turn 4.
I think this got a little bit too on the inside curbs. Just got him out of shape, and back end went around, tried to save it, and just ended up out there.
A second penalty for multiple warnings. That's first one was on lap 2, now second on lap 10. That's 6 seconds of penalties already for Curly's on-track conduct. I'm not even sure how we managed to get those penalties. We don't run strict track limits here.
They must have gone really far off, or really something else happened.
Multiple times. Pixels now with a 3-second penalty for track limits as well, multiple warnings. Brady's going to be looking for a way past Pixels. It'll probably happen though with the pace difference between these 2 drivers. Right, looks like here it comes maybe. Nope. Brady backs out. Probably going to be keeping it until the DRS zone. Pixels running way wide actually. Going to be down to the inside for Brady. That'll allow Pixels actually to get the DRS now. Curly into pit lane. Cars just
probably
spacing out a little bit.
Had that not open up.
Weaving down the straight.
Chasing them.
Lots of weaving down the straight.
Whoa,
Pixels
come on
be
now.
Careful there. Rear wing open could definitely cause you to drop that if you're not careful. Pretty sure we're just going to see Brady drive off from the back. This 4-car group, though, is still very close together. The Alfa Romeo nearly running into the back of the Mercedes in front. AlphaTauri clearly not having a good day. 15th and 14th already. Went a bit downhill for Alpine too, only one of their cars still within the top 10.
Yeah, I think everybody's going to try to get settled in here after a bit of a fracas in these first 10 laps or so. But, I mean, I do say that we have these 4 cars all quite close to each other here.
That's intentional. I've clicked off the game this time because I realised our Season 5 logo is blocking the track map on the stream. I've only just noticed now. My apologies. There we go, it is fixed. Fastest lap, 1:20.242 for Brady Pollock in the Haas. Absolutely flying along as Broughton now into pit lane for Ferrari. Seems Pixels gets passed by Treeboy into turn 1, the Ferrari. Number of cars I'm presuming have dropped off of this train due to pit stops. These 3 seem to have settled, but back here we see Treeboy, Pixels and D765 Pixels off the road, letting the Mercedes past quite easily.
Three cars still quite close to each other here.
Indeed, I think we're going to see Pixels just fall off the back a little bit though. The fight between the Mercedes and the Ferrari. Group in front though might be one to watch actually, coming through the DRS zone. That looked like a very sideways Williams as I was jumping through the cars.
I gotta say though, their run out of that corner was not great, but they are still gonna get right up to the Merc in front of them.
Up to the back, yep, the Alfa Romeo getting very close, just doesn't have enough speed to
Both
get
of
the
them off track.
Both of them off track indeed. Very difficult turn one, taking it at speed. Could be even more difficult if you're behind another car, losing the downforce. I bet turn four there is scary as well.
You just gotta trust the guy in front of you doesn't make a huge mistake and gets in your way and you can't see him.
Mercedes running off the track again. Going to be saying that Mercedes must be pretty close to a track limits penalty by now.
I'd imagine.
Despite how sideways I think that Williams got, it's still right on the back of all these cars.
Yeah, Baker's still right up there. Maybe not as close as the Alfa Romeo and the Mercedes are to each other, but still definitely in this battle.
Definitely is there. Definitely going to be one to watch as well as these two fight each other, slowing each other down. They need to be careful not to let that Williams past. Atlas right now for a second time with the DRS open. A little bit of weaving. I think the Alpha's just that little bit closer this time round.
Don't think they're gonna get them.
Nope,
get there
not
though.
going to be anything into turn one. Still a lot closer. Keeps it on track this time though. Reading apparently Scarlet is saving fuel and also pulling out time on Adoro somehow. That makes me think Adoro might be fuel saving as well. Laiapa now, 3-second time penalty. We just seen running off the track again. And we're having a look to the outside, side by side, in front by the corner. Runs that little bit wide off the track.
Oh, still in
Keeps the
front.
position though.
Good move.
Also impeding up on these three now is the Haas. We just seen the background.
I mean, these three have been battling with each other for a couple laps here, so
The Haas is going to add just another element to this fight. Could make it interesting. One of the Aston Martins, that's going to be Pixel, spinning around in the first few corners. Getting pinged constantly in commentary prompts, and yes, I see it, Apex. Alfa Romeo has gained a little bit of a gap up to these front, however, Mercedes dives into the pits. These two are going to be going side by side. Brady absolutely roaring ahead. Yellow sector 2 for
blowing
the
his
Aston
doors
Martin
off.
Pixels. Running off track though goes Brady. I'd say he's going to be quite close to track limits penalty eventually as well. The Haas seems to have the cornering speed as well as a monstrous straight line. Didn't seem to be losing anything throughout the number of corners in the middle sector. Brady down to the inside of the Alfa Romeo, heading into the middle sector. Brady spins it round.
Whoa, goes
by the
around.
Alpha.
Keeps a foot in it though, is able to get it good back the right direction a little bit faster.
Very, very quick spin. Gets it going right direction though. Going to be damaging again to the tyres. That's only going to play against the strategy as well. It was a bit questionable with how early he came in, since he'd have to fight through the pack, whereas everybody else could overcut. Scarlet into pit lane as well, I just noticed. With Adoro taking the lead, sector 3 yellows, one of the Alfa Romeos, that will be Laiapa, sideways, gets off the racing line into pit lane, thankfully very quickly. 5-second penalty, speeding in pit lane for Laiapa now. That's very unfortunate after the spin that he just had. E765 now, the Mercedes getting a 3-second time penalty. A number of cars struggling with track limits today.
It can't be hard to keep it on track around here, and we are seeing that.
It can be. Cars getting a little spaced out due to all the pit stops taking place. I see two cars close together of the Mercedes and AlphaTauri fighting over the last point to pay position. One, the Aston Martin's, my bad, has spun around. That's going to fix us again, I think. Mercedes taking just a little bit of a look down the inside of the Williams, doesn't quite make it stick. Running wide though goes the Williams. Mercedes down to the inside now. Gets it done cleanly on the inside. Sam Baker just backs out for the next corner. Early's going to need a very quick way past this Williams if he wants to keep that fight up with the Mercedes.
I don't think that Williams going to give up so easily, though.
Definitely isn't. Adoro Tay is going past pit lane another time. Oh no, he's came in actually. 3-second time difference between Scarlett and Adoro. Must have missed
Seems like Scarlett got a better stop.
Scarlett did. 3.6, 3.7 seconds out in front. DRS wide open for these three cars, not gaining enough on each other to make anything stick. Aston Martin strategy playing very well into the hands of Scarlett currently. Looking again, the Mercedes got a bit of a bad run off the corner. Williams just doesn't have a way around. Might have goes down to the inside, backs out. That's a very, very rough way.
Oh, very loose.
Very loose. That's going to let the AlphaTauri go right past very easily.
And Carlos going to want to try to make up some time to get to Dorado up there.
Very much so. Well, he does have his fair share of pace, just not enough to get up to the podium paying positions, I'm pretty sure, this season. However, anything can happen. We're only roughly halfway through this race. Looks like there's going to be a fight for P5. Demi and M Rose going at it. Also going to be a fight for second very soon, as we see Adoro Tay and Brady Polk only a half second between each other. Until they get that little bit closer, just following along with these two. Blyaf and Treeboy in the back swap positions.
Brady has closed him with half a second here on second place.
Half second. These two here, Amrose and Demi, seem to be just a little bit out. Are falling off of each other, so I'm going to go and jump over to this battle for second.
Imagine if Haas actually ran this well in real life.
Well, it would definitely be something. We've seen a glimpse of what it would be like with this year's Brazilian Grand Prix in real life. Aslan absolutely charging down to the left-hand side of Adoro.
That was a little closer than I would have liked. A little bit closer.
Very, very close indeed. Adoro just letting it go by just the car's width on the left-hand side.
Currently got by Dorado.
Yep,
Right,
he has passed Dorado, and M Rose and Demi are fighting. I'm just going to jump back over to that battle.
They are fighting.
Very close to each other. M Rose just losing out to the Alpine. Alpine's now getting right back up to that drive-through penalty. However, I'm not sure if Demi is yet to pit again.
Currently and Dorado are also fighting. This is a interesting time for two battles to be taking place in the middle of the race and during kind of pit stop cycles.
Very much so. M Rose getting very close to the back of that Alpine now. Just to keep it stable for another few corners, going to be getting the DRS assistance down the main straight. However, has a look to the inside, has to back out, loses out some time.
This looks like Baker's joined the battle between Curly and Dorado.
Yep.
Back again, still for 8th
See
place,
that
as we're
there.
looking at 4th place
Then
here.
he dives into the pit lane. I was correct about that. They have to pit again. That allows Amrose up into 4th pretty comfortably. Going to jump back now to see this group of cars, the train of 3 for P8. Impulse now, 5-second penalty speeding in pit lane.
Just not a good day for Impulse.
It's not a good day for AlphaTauri, really. Curly's getting up there now, but anything could happen. It's like one of the Alfa Romeos and Ferraris are getting close together for 10th place.
A very different day for the Aston Martins, though.
It is up in 1st and down 15th. Very different pace. Sam Baker just dives out of that to avoid spinning the Mercedes or himself.
Good call.
Very good call indeed. That could have ended disastrously for one or both of the cars. However, that will have cost him about half a second in terms of distance to the car in front.
Sometimes it's worth it, because you take this risk and sometimes it's going to bite you. You're going to wreck yourself or a person around you and get you a penalty. Lose even more time.
That is very true. One of the Aston Martins is going to be lapping the other, or has already actually lapped the other, as we see middle between 1 and 2. The Aston Martin dots are very close to each other, but at complete opposite ends of the grid. Pixels may not be one of the fastest drivers on the grid, however he does have his fair showing. He has scored podiums and wins, I think. I'd need to go and double check, but I'm not 100% sure. He is definitely instrumental to the entirety of the FVC.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I've just seen I am incorrect. No wins, but 4 podiums for Pixels. 100th race. Yellow for Sector 3. One of the Aston Martins went round. That is Pixels, thankfully. Well, I say thankfully. It's securing the win further for Scarlett. I can't say securing yet. There's only 1.5 seconds really between herself and Brady, but it is the preferred car if you're at Aston Martin to see going round. Brady into pit lane again. As comes Pixels in. 3-second penalty, multiple warnings, Treeboy 53. Going to be track limits again, I presume. See the Alpine just 3 seconds in the background. Kind of.
Also, I have seen that apparently Scarlett does not have enough fuel to make the end of the race.
Well, only one way to find out. 11 laps remaining. She has 2.8 seconds that she can fuel save just as a very quick drive in general. Sam Baker having a look round for a way past this Mercedes. Doesn't have anything for the first few corners. The RS is going to be wide open, going to be gaining all the way down to turn 5. Has a look for the inside. That's very ambitious if you dive from that far back. Dorado running wide yet again. That must also be very close to a track limits penalty soon.
Seems the F1 game is allowing him to live for now.
Well, for now, definitely.
10 to go here.
Been yet another correction that I see in the commentary rooms. It was 14 podiums, not 4 for Pixels. This time I can blame Apex and not myself.
This is true. I can confirm.
It's our driver with the second amount of starts. Currently absent from this race. Would have been the first to hit 100, but wasn't here for the Portuguese Grand Prix, allowing Pixels to stand in for the Aston Martin team and take 100 starts, the first of any driver around both sides combined.
Very impressive.
Very much indeed.
The challengers are on board.
Dorado seemed to get a little bit unstable coming around one of the corners, allowing Sam just to get a little bit closer. Doesn't seem to be enough. The battle's still raging on between these two. We also see As we see Pixels getting the time penalty now. We also see the Alfa Romeo of Blayapa just in the background, encroaching on these two a bit. Of course, this fight will allow him to catch up and early ahead to escape. We'll also see another 3-car battle between the Ferrari, Mercedes and Alpine for 11th. Just in the background, that might catch up to this group of 4.
That depends on how close these guys get together.
Very much so. Also in any accidents possible. One of the Aston Martins spinning around at turn 1. That is Scarlett for the lead!
Oh!
Adoro takes the lead of the race.
Huge implications here. I gotta wonder what happened. Maybe they got a little bit too up on the curb, spun around, able to keep it going here and not be too far behind, but
fastest lap. However,
it's gonna destroy their tires.
this is all to play for now. Lap 24 or 33, lead changes between Adora and Scarlett. Adora is still hunting for that first win in the FVC after having it brutally taken away at the Spanish Grand Prix. After 40 seconds of penalties, I'm pretty sure.
Wow.
Yep.
That's impressive.
Well, when you cause 2 cars to go out, another 2 to get damaged, and then punt somebody else off, then
Talk about a busy race.
it does cause some problems, but from a commentary point, I must stay as unbiased as I can. Adoro is a very quick driver, just needs to work on that racecraft a bit. Alpine's also going to be taking their first win if Adoro can keep this clean for the rest of the race.
Scarlett is closing back in a little bit here, and with 0.6 of a second.
Gaining a bit. Pixels spinning again. One of the AlphaTauris going past. I think that puts Pixels a lap down of everybody now. Scarlett is gaining that ground now. Only 0.3 between these two, as my controller has stopped responding.
And with 0.2 here, right up on the rear.
Oh, there's the...
Oh.
There we go. Okay, we're back.
What has happened? We need to know.
Very much almost did happen because one of the Astons was in it.
We got strolled.
We genuinely did get strolled. Half a second between these two, but the DRS zone's going to play in hugely for Scarlett. Depends what her battery is at though. We see the rear light flashing on that Aston Martin. Battery charging, but here she comes though. Having a look
charging
at the
down, looking on the
going
outside.
For the outside.
There.
Not enough grip. Stays and keeps it round though, side by side into turn 3. Be very close together, side by side. They're keeping it round the outside. Adora gets ahead for turn 4.
That's a big move right there. Very bold.
Move, just not enough. Emrose, 3-second penalty for track limits. Scarlett now going around to the outside for turn 5.
I can imagine she's going to run out of patience here.
Well, patience is definitely one of the things you're going to be running out of, is you're going to be stuck behind a Alpine for the rest of the race, especially after such a dominant lead. Time penalty as well for Ambrose will promote the Williams provisionally up onto podium. That'll be another podium finish for the Williams team, further increasing their lead at the top of the table.
Indeed, as Scarlett is still going to be within DRS's zone here.
Yep.
Gotta wonder if they're going to make the same move they did on the previous lap.
A lot better run, already closing without even getting to the DRS zone. Much faster now, going to the left side again, easily breezes past for turn 1 this time.
Let's see if they're able to keep that lead here.
Keeps it for now, Adora running slightly wide. Seems to be keeping it stable throughout the first section of corners. However, Adora this time is going to get the DRS down the second zone.
I think they're going to pick up on the inside here in turn 5.
As a look for it, back.
Oh, nope.
No way you're going to be making it from that far back without causing an accident. Some changes further back between Alfa Romeo and Mercedes for 8th place. Blyapper gets past Eldorado to turn 1.
Looks like Scarlett's built a bit of a gap here, which just shows how fast that car is. How fast she is.
Yep. Scarlett, a very, very quick driver, winning one of the Summer Series championships previously as well. She definitely has proved herself in this league, but there's always these new drivers coming up all the time. Some of them are exceptionally quick.
As someone who's raced against her, I can say she is very fast, at least in Forza.
Oh,
And I'm
she's very
sure
fast.
same in here, as I've heard.
She is very fast, both on F1 and Forza. She now 6/10 gained in a lap.
DRS open on the car behind her,
So have a
but
look.
not able to get up there.
Checking for championships, won the first season of Global F4, won the 2022 Summer Series, second in Season 4, and is in contention for the Drivers' Championship in Season 2 of F4 as well. She is definitely very, very quick and accomplished. DRS open again, having a look, but doesn't quite make it.
I had a race against them in F4, and that was a time. I got second in the championship, but it was nowhere near first.
Yeah. She absolutely ran away with that championship that season. Things are a little closer this season between myself and her. However, still coming down very close.
I will create drama.
3-second time penalty for the Mercedes of Eldorado for multiple warnings.
A lot of penalties this race.
Just imagine as well if we had our track limit set to strict too. This is only on normal as far as I'm aware. Closer together this time. It looks like the Alpine is gaining through the corner.
Able to get a good run out of turn 15 here.
Open. Alpine's definitely gaining. Moves to the inside. Be too wide through the first corner. Door just backs out for the first corner. Scarlett keeps it.
A little bit late to back out, but I still think it's a good call there. That's risky going into turn 1 like that. Still right up on a rear bumper.
It's definitely very risky going through that corner. Adoro, I'd say, going to be watching out for himself so he doesn't get any more penalties. So far, over the completed races this season, he's averaged 21 seconds per race. Which,
good lord.
You know, after only 3 completed races, that's a lot. Getting over a
That's a lot of penalties.
Getting over a minute of penalties in 3 races is... It speaks volumes about you as a driver.
And I mean, I've talked about this before, and obviously not here, but as a driver, you can be quick, but you got to have racecraft if you want to be successful. And as we see Scarlett go off, Adora is going to get around to the outside here, side by side.
As the camera is playing.
All right, great camera view. Like watching NASCAR, as Scarlett keeps the lead here. But Adora is right up
right
on her.
Definitely 2/10 this time. Going to be gaining through the corner yet again, it looks like. Jumping on board again, but the DRS going to be wide open. Even closer this time, jumps out of the slipstream early, going to be losing time. Back in for a second. Not going to make it before turn 1.
Out. I do not understand that. I feel like they could have gotten her going down to turn 1 if they stepped in the slipstream, but just decided not to.
Not to. Getting very close to the rear of that Aston Martin up the corner though. Just have to keep out of the rear. Touch the back of another car up there. You're going to send it around to the spin. Has a look to the inside. Backs out of it again.
Something very interesting here. Apparently Scarlett is 0.6 of a lap down on fuel.
That's very interesting. It'll make me wonder what she'll be like once she gets up properly with fuel. Sector 1 yellow, that is. 2 cars, going to be one of the Alpines and a Mercedes. Oh. Most likely Damien. There's a safety car, looks like. Virtual safety car deployed, sector 1, 2, and 3. That will allow Scarlett to save a lot of fuel.
That is exactly what Scarlett needed.
That is the perfect moment for that to come out for her.
Yeah, and at this point, they can stop worrying about that, stop worrying, and just go out there and win. And as a driver, that's what you want. You don't be worried about fuel conservation, especially whenever we have so little laps left. But a great battle between these two. I mean, Dorothy, of course, has had those penalties these first 3 races, but very clean, very organized between these two.
Has been very clean.
Very competitive.
However, when this safety car or virtual safety car ends, It's going to be very close between them. Scarlet will have the correct amount of fuel though, and they're both going to have a full battery most likely. It's going to be extremely fast and extremely hard between these two on the final 3 laps when we finally get back to racing again.
This is going to be a shootout here.
So reporting 0.3 under. 20-second penalty for speeding under VSC for Amrose. We're back to green flag. Drive-through penalty
that
for
is
Pixels.
a heartbreaker for M. Rose here. That's going to lose them the podium.
Amrose and Pixels as well getting the penalties. However, that is going to promote OJ English up into P3 by a comfortable margin.
Watching a dogfight here for first place.
Yep. One thing as well I'm noticing, Brady Pollock less than a second behind that Williams as well. Could be a fight for P3.
And that's a podium spot that they're going to be battling for.
Yep, Brady, very, very, very fast driver, but English also getting a fair share of quick results. Which way it goes this way, though, we're going to be getting another new winner, our 4th winner in 4 races.
And we always love to see parity.
Indeed.
On board with the second place car here of Dorote as they close in right onto the rear bumper. Well, start side bumpers. Going into turn 4, this uphill blind left-hander. Very fast corner, leading out into the back straightaway here, going down into turn 5. Going to be inside, decides to keep on the rear.
Starting to think it's less of a look and more of a scare move there, trying to get a driver reaction in front. However, doesn't seem to be working against Scarlet. Sector 1 yellows for the other Aston Martin of Pixels getting spun round, or spinning himself round. I'm thinking now with full battery and most likely a lot more comfortable on fuel, that Scarlet is just going to start running away from Adoro.
Adora's still keeping within touch though, but they're going to need to pick up the pace if they want to get past them. Difference between staying behind them and getting by them.
Keeping it there is a completely different thing. You need to be catching and not keeping it there.
Let's head down in turn 15. Gulp! What's the name of this turn? I don't think that's how you pronounce that, but someone going to pronounce it.
Fair enough. DRS wide open, has a look to the inside now. Dorote going past Scarlet, lead, lap 33, the final lap, pass into turn 1. Dorote.
Scarlet's still there, outside, can climb again! And turn 3, Lagos here as we go uphill for turn 4 once more, one final time here. Caution is out, and, well, yellow flags are out for sectors 2 and 3.
Adora having looked down the inside, they're going to make it happen this time. Turn 5, down the inside.
Torre, VIP! Oh!
Goes way off the track.
That was a bold move. Still there.
Scarlet's still there. Can we have a look down the inside, up to the next corner, middle of sector 2.
This is not over yet, folks. There is still a lot of time left in this race.
Half a lap to go, about 30 seconds left for both of these drivers if they want to make it move. 30 seconds for Adoro. 30 seconds to Scarlet. Scarlet go down the inside of the corner. Very bold move, makes it stay.
What
Doro going to be side by side to the next corners. Doro pulls ahead yet again. In the middle of the 3. Doro just keeping it wide. Scarlet's out of fuel. Scarlet has ran out of fuel.
Use all their stuff up. I think they'll be able to get around in time, but I gotta say, Adorte's gonna win this race, but I think there's gonna be a stored inquiry. He kind of just pushed her off the track.
That's gonna be something right about anyway. Dorote takes the win. Our
Scarlet will get second place still.
Scarlet comes home second place with running out of fuel. M. Rose crosses provisionally 3rd, but loses with 20 plus seconds of penalties. Brady Pollock for the second time just getting over the line in front of the Williams of OJ English. 5th position confirmed for, no it's not, 5th position for Jail Broughton, 6th provisionally for M. Rose. And I think it'll stay like that. Simon Baker comes over the line now for 6th actually. I'm wrong again. Alfa Romeo falling down the grid, seems to stabilise though in 7th place. 8th for D765, 9th for Demi, and 10th for Curly, the final points paying position. Light Apper 11th, Impulse 12th, Treeboy 13th, El Dorado 14th, and Pixel 15th. A couple of cars still left to complete the race. 4 races, 4 different winners, and a first race win for Alpine. But will it stick this time? So we see one of the Aston Martins getting a bit unstable in front of the race winner.
Yep, there goes the other one.
That was a very exciting last lap. A lot of position changes, a lot of constant fight.
Yeah.
It will never get closer than that.
Yeah, I don't know. It was a very good battle, but I don't really like how it ended, personally. I mean, Scarlett was able to keep in touch near the end there, but Doro just kind of pushed her off the track, kind of hip checked her right in turn 5, dived up the inside, and just was able to, and because of that, was able to get there and stay there and take the lead, and never relinquished it from there.
Will depend what gets inquired about and what gets reviewed. 7.4 seconds between Adoro and Scarlett. All depends what comes down to the stewards room. We never like giving penalties for different race wins, but unfortunately, one of the things that has to happen at times. Not saying anything will happen though. But as it stands, we are 4 for 4 for race winners.
It's been an exciting season so far.
Simon Baker, 46-7, gets driver of the day on the game. However, the app voting will be open soon for anyone to be able to vote for their driver of the day. Just quickly do that. Provisional P1 for Alpine for the first time. Was looking to be the same at Spain, but that changed completely. Adoro's home race, he did seem to keep himself a lot cleaner this time. Still yet to be confirmed though, only provisional. Adoro safe first, Scarlett second, and Brady Pollock in third. What a race that was.
That was a very exciting one.
A number of people are also lining up in the interview queue. We'll get to them shortly, just got to do our rundown first. Provisional win, Adoro Tay with a 125.58 for their best lap. Scarlett 42 in second, our previous race winner. Was fighting for the win, however doesn't quite keep it this time. Brady Pollock 37, our fastest lap as well. Haas take third position, OJ English in fourth, and Jill Broughton in fifth. Simon Baker takes sixth position with Mr. M Rose in seventh with a lot of penalties, unfortunately for him. D765 takes eighth. Demi, the other Alpine, takes ninth for a 26-point haul for the Alpine team, and Curly taking the final points position in 10th. I'm mistaken, it's 27 points for Alpine. Flyapper 11th, 12th for Estrogen Impulse, 13th for Treeboy 53, 14th for El Dorado, and 100 races, and it's 15th for Pixel.